Smaller and smaller detail. And this is our DNA. So DNA is in the shape of a double helix. So double means two, so that means it has two sides. And helix means twisted, so it has like a spiral shape to it. And I'm putting these lines in the middle of the DNA because that's what is going to be the genes. That's what tells you, your body, what to be, what to look like, what to do. So this level of organization, this is number 8, and it is DNA. That stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. That's kind of fun to think about, that there's acid in your body right now. So I'm going to color code. This is my level of organization and my example, all in one. So I'm going to have my two colors here. And guess what? We can go even deeper into the detail of DNA. So I'm going to use my scalpel laser, and I'm going to look at just one section of DNA. And I'm going to zoom in. So this one section of DNA is the next level of organization, so I'm going to draw it bigger. With our latter parts. These are called nucleotides, by the way. And this is level number 9. This is a gene. So when you talk about genetics or your genes, it's not just what you're wearing, but it is the DNA that tells your body what to be, whether to have dark hair or light hair or curly hair or straight hair. It's different sections of DNA. So the gene is one section, one piece of DNA that controls a trait like hair color or eye color or height, how tall you're going to be. Each specific section of DNA controls one trait, one thing about you. So that is our level of organization and our example all in one. So I'm doing my two colors for that one. And guess what? We can go even deeper. One last step just for today. We'll go even farther into genes and DNA later, but for today we're going to go one more step. So I'm going to take my scalpel and I'm going to look at just this bottom part of the gene. And I'm going to have to be creative here on my microscope zoom, so I'm going to go down back over to this space where I've got some room to draw my last level of organization, number 10. Is the nucleotides. Sometimes they're also called base pairs. So we'll put that in there in case you're doing some research on the internet. Okay, so on DNA, there are some molecules on the side, or the handle part of the ladder, which is made of sugars and phosphates. And this is just an illustration of those two molecules, sugar and phosphate. This box part is the sugar, and then this little circle is the phosphate. Both of those are just molecules. And then I'm going to draw just an illustration, a pretend illustration of what these base pairs could look like, these nucleotides. Okay. So I drew a pointy side and then the other side of that puzzle piece. And this is going to be A, and this is going to be T. And then I'm going to draw a rounded side, and then the other side of that puzzle piece. And this is going to be a G, and this is going to be a C. Now I did that on purpose because there are 4 different nucleotides in DNA. So there are 4 different base pairs for DNA. A stands for adenine, T stands for thymine, G stands for guanine, and C stands for cytosine. And those are the 4 different nucleotides that make up your entire DNA. There are no other nucleotides. So every single piece of DNA is either A, T, C, or G. And the order that these are made up in is going to determine whether you have brown eyes or blue eyes. Maybe if you had a T there instead of an A, you would have green eyes. So the different order of the nucleotides along the DNA strand, which is millions and millions of these all put together, determines what your genes are going to be. And notice how A fits with T and C fits with G. They always go together. They chemically bond together. So you will never see the A pair up with C. That doesn't happen. It's always A with T and G with C. That's how the chemicals work. And so this is our last level of organization, number 10, nucleotides. So let's do one more overview. I'm going to start back up at number 1. You take the whole organism. If you were to slice open a whole organism, you would see different systems. You would see a circulatory system, a digestive system, a nervous system. And if you were to take just one piece of that system, you would have an organ. Organs are lots of different tissues that work together. Now, if you take one small piece of that organ, you're going to get a tissue, which is a lot of cells that do a job for the organ. Now, if you take that tissue and you were just to take out one piece of it, you would get a cell, a single cell working within that heart tissue or that lung tissue, whatever tissue is in the system we're looking at. Now, inside of that cell, there's different organelles, all doing jobs for the cell, but we decided to look at the nucleus, which is one organelle, level 6, inside of the cell. And we looked at the nucleus because we wanted to specifically check out chromosomes, which are packages of DNA that's nicely put together. If I zoom in on just one piece of the chromosome, I see the DNA itself, deoxyribonucleic acid. This is the blueprint, the code for a living thing. If I zoom in on just one piece of that DNA, I get a gene. It's a section that controls a specific trait. So maybe one gene here controls eye color, and this gene here controls your height, and this gene here controls whether you're going to have blue eyes or brown eyes. Each specific section controls something about you. And then if I look at one piece of that gene, I see the nucleotides, the base pairs, the parts of the DNA that connect together that determine your traits. So those are the 10 levels of organization we're going to focus on for right now. Make sure that you copy down the entire page so that you have a record of our organism organization. I'm going to go out a little bit more. And then you're going to send me a picture of your organism organization chart with its color code. Okay, have fun.